I did a previous video on my marine clocks. I have two of them, and they both have really strange size batteries in them. This one here has this little tiny, it's a 1.5 volt battery, and it's really small. And it's like a AAA battery, except it's half the length. So, yeah, you just can't go into a store and find these things. I thought I found some at Walgreens on my last video a couple weeks ago, and it turned out they looked exactly the same, except the ones I got at Walgreens were a little bit skinnier and they wouldn't fit in here. And it was a good thing, because it turned out those batteries that I got at Walgreens were 12 volts. And go figure, a 12 volt battery this small, it was crazy. I think I know what they use them for, like garage door openers and stuff now. But definitely would not work in this clock. It would have damaged this clock if it had fit in there, but luckily it didn't fit. It's crazy why this clock manufacturer, which is a pretty cool little clock, would use such a small battery, especially when there's plenty of room back here to put a big battery in it, like a AA. So that's what I want to try to do. I want to try to put a AA battery in here. So I'm going to have to modify this to do that. And so I just went down to the secondhand store, and a new one just opened up around the corner. And I found this clock, which actually is kind of nice. Hate to kind of tear it up, but I'd rather use this one, because this is a marine clock, and it glows in the dark, which is really cool. And I have a barometer too that goes with it. And it also glows in the dark. So, whoa. So at any rate, this is the set that goes together. And so I just don't have a clock in here right now. I had a clock like this, and about a couple of weeks ago, I knocked it off the shelf and broke it. And I should have kept it, because it only had a 1 AA battery, and I might have been able to take the battery holder out of it and use it in here, but I threw it away, because I didn't realize this one had such a small battery in it. I haven't used this since my old boat, so it's been a long time, very many years. And when I opened it up, I looked at the battery compartment. It's like, oh, now I remember. And the little battery here doesn't last very long. And so, and you got to put 3 screws in, in the wall, on the bulkhead, and take the screws out to change the battery, which is kind of a pain. So I'm going to use Velcro. I'm just going to Velcro these up. I don't want to drill holes in my teak bulkhead. I have solid teak interior, and I don't want to drill holes in any of the teak. And so I'm just going to use Velcro so I can just yank it off the wall to change the battery. I want to get a bigger battery in here. And so, yeah, I want to put the clock and barometer up next to each other. And it's been driving me nuts not having a clock. I can look at my phone or my laptop or whatever and see what time it is, but it's kind of a pain. So I just like to glance up and look and see what time it is. I end up staying up too damn late because I don't know what time it is, and I just end up staying up too late at night. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and try to remove the battery holder in here. So I'm going to have to take this clock apart and see if I can do that. And I'll do it one way or another. I'll make it happen. But we'll see. At least I think I can. So anyway, it has a battery in here, but evidently it's no good because the clock's not working. And this clock might not work anyway. So I only paid $5 for it. And it kind of looks like it has a separate battery holder here. So this is what I need, this little spring part and the little contacts in here, so I can put a AA battery in this other clock. So let's see if I can take this apart. So I got my cool little screwdriver set. Got it at the hobby store. 2 screws, and I should be able to take this apart, looks like. Now, hopefully this will open up. Hopefully. Yep. And, okay, so this is what I got here. The battery holder is all part of the back, but that's okay. I got a cure for that. It's called my Dremel tool. And I can cut anything with my Dremel tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these wires, and I'm going to cut these wires and use them in this other clock, because I'm going to need wires anyway. So I'm just going to yank them. Oh, it's got a little light. I don't think I need that. That'd be cool if I could incorporate it in, but this one glows in the dark, but it has to be in light for a while for it to glow, and then it doesn't glow for very long. So just a few hours, if I recall. So not that great, but yeah, this has to be cut, but that's not a problem. I think I can make this work. So I'm just going to yank these wires loose here. I think I can just, I got some diagonal cutters somewhere, but I don't need them. I'll just yank them loose like this. And why is this other one here? I just need 2 wires. That's all I need, one on each end. But I'll go ahead and pull the wires loose. I'm just going to yank everything loose, get it out of the way. So this is garbage now. Now all I got to do is take my Dremel tool and cut out the battery holder. So I'm going to just have to decide here how I'm going to do this. So if I can keep the back where I can put this back piece in, that would be kind of cool, but I don't really need to. I don't think it matters. So yeah, so I'm going to have to start cutting with the Dremel tool, and I'm going to want to get my vacuum cleaner out to catch any dust. So that's what I'm going to do now. You always want to wear safety glasses. Even these are just cheap reading glasses, they'll work fine. And so you always want to protect your eyes whenever you're using power tools, always. I built a wood stove for this boat, and I lived out on a research farm, and I was out there all by myself in the middle of thousands of acres with no one around me. And I got on this big carbide grinder. I just got done welding on the wood stove, and I like to weld whenever I weld something and it's still red hot. I like to get on it real quick with the grinder because it grinds a lot easier and quicker. And so I was in a hurry. It was like midnight, and I jumped on the grinder, started grinding, didn't put any eye protection on. A piece of metal flew off the carbide grinder and went right into my eye. So it was a splinter of steel, and it was probably about a 1/4 inch long, and it went into my eye, and it was right next to the iris, the brown part of my eye. It was in the white part, just right up on the edge of the iris. If it had been over 1/2 inch, it would hit my pupil. I would have been blinded permanently in my eye. And so I'm out in the middle of this research farm, and I had no medical insurance at the time, and I was wondering what the hell am I going to do. I got metal in my eye and it hurt like hell. And it was interesting because the metal stuck out of my eye right where my eyelid, upper and lower eyelid, happened to come together when I blinked. Of course, I was blinking because it hurt. My eye was watering and my eye was blinking a lot. And luckily, it was right where my eyelids, top and bottom eyelids come together, is where it was sticking out of my eye. If it had been higher or lower, the eyelid would have pushed on it, and it really would have hurt and damaged my eye worse. So I just had to calm down, and my boss had a dissecting kit. He used to be a pre-med student, and he still had this dissecting kit that he had in his desk. So I got a mirror, and I got these long forceps, and I just tried to calm myself down as much as possible, which was not easy. And I went up real slow with the forceps and just luckily grabbed it on the first try and pulled it out. Left a little hole in my eye, in the white part of my eye. It was red, a little hole. It's pretty deep, and probably about 1/8 of an inch deep or so. And the strange thing is the next morning it was totally healed up. Couldn't even see it. So your eyes do heal quick, at least that part of it. So always wear your eye protection. And that train out there can make all the noise it wants right now because I'm going to turn the vacuum cleaner on and you won't be able to hear it. That train drives me nuts. Okay, if you ever get one of these Dremel tools, one thing's for sure, you won't know how you lived without it, because these things are awesome. I mean, there's so many things you can do with these things, and makes life really easy. So I was able to cut this out in that quick a time. Okay, so I was able to cut a lot of that out of there. Now, didn't damage the clock, so that's good. Now let's see if this is going to fit. And I can get to the little connectors, because I have to solder these wires onto the wires, connectors on here, to make it work. So let's just see if this will fit. Probably not on the first try. That's close. I'm going to have to go more. Getting there. Okay, let's see how it does now. Ooh, that's really close. That is almost there. Okay, I can see what I need to do, and it'll be done. So I just need to cut this lip off of here. Look at that. That fits in there pretty damn good. Almost like it was made for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this lip off. I'm just going to follow the edge here. I think all I need to do. Okay, this should work. Huh, beautiful. This is going to work great. It almost looks like it was made for it. So, I can't believe how good this fits. This really, and it's below the edge. So, all I got to do, I think I have a hot glue gun somewhere, but I don't know where. So that would probably work really good, but I may just use epoxy and epoxy this in when I'm done. Or hell, I could just put some Velcro on it and just Velcro it in so I can take it apart if I had to. But there you go. So it's got, I don't know if you can see it, it's getting dark, but it fits in there flush, and the battery will fit right in. So I got to remember, I know which way the positive goes, and it's backwards, but the wires are long enough so I can put them in. So the battery will go in just like it normally would. Fits right in there like that. So now I'm going to have a AA battery instead of this little tiny piece of crap, which didn't last very long, and I didn't like constantly taking my clock down because I had to unscrew it from the bulkhead and change the damn thing. So this should last probably 3 or 4 times longer than this battery. And I can still put the cover on the back, it looks like. And it pops right on like that. So the battery will be covered up. And let's see if that lid's going to stick up. No, because when I get it in there all the way, there it goes. It should be flush. Yeah, fits perfect. Look at that. It was just like a switch. It's like a Swiss watchmaker, huh? Pretty cool. Now tell me, you know how hard it would have been to do this without this Dremel tool? It would have been very difficult. It would have taken forever. Look how fast I did that. It wasn't very long. And so now all I got to do is solder these wires onto the connector of the clock, and then just glue this thing in here somehow. I can use epoxy. I can use super glue. I can use Velcro. Velcro might be the way to go, but it might stick up a little too much. And hopefully I'll have a clock that I can use. Don't know if I'll finish this tonight because it's getting dark. I may do this tomorrow so I can finish filming this procedure. And hopefully the clock will work fine. It should work fine. And I'll be a happy yachtsman once again. At least I won't be as tired because I'll be going to bed earlier because I'll know what time it is. I mean, I'll stay up. I'll look. If I don't have a clock to look at, and you know, like I said, I can look at my phone or my laptop, but usually I'm doing stuff. So, and next thing I know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, wait a minute. I thought it was like 1 in the morning, and it's like 4 in the morning. So, yeah, I need to get more sleep. So, so that's it for now, and we'll finish this up tomorrow. Okay, so next I'm going to need to solder these 2 wires to these 2 battery connector points. Now the trick is here, I'm going to be using my butane soldering iron with the tip on it this time. So I'm not going to use the torch. And the reason for that, even though the torch would probably work pretty good, but the problem is there's too much plastic in the way. And I don't want to melt anything, especially the gears inside here. And I don't want to heat up the back of the face of the clock and damage that, because that'll show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some aluminum foil as a heat sink to protect the clock. So I'm tempted to, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna put some foil in here to protect it, and hopefully I won't damage anything when I solder these. I hope the solder doesn't stick to my aluminum. Usually I wouldn't think it would stick at all, but knowing my luck, it probably will. Okay, so try to get as much of that exposed as I can. Okay, so I think I got it protected. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to put butane into my soldering iron. And so I got me this little tiny can of butane that will probably last me the rest of my life. And it was all they had. I went to the smoke shop around the corner and they didn't have small cans, so I had to buy this big honking thing. And this thing doesn't take very much at all. And it's got all these little fittings here for different sizes. So I got to figure out which size I need. Again, I do this every time. Okay, now I should be able to turn this upside down and fill this thing up. Maybe. It's really awkward. And I get it all over me. And you want to do this when there's no flame around, because you know I'd burn the crap out of me. It's freezing my skin. Okay, now I'm going to let that, it's literally froze this. It's all iced up from expanding gas, like how your refrigeration units work. There it goes. Now is it heating up? It is. Has not. Wait a minute. Ow, it's hot. Okay. It takes a minute to heat up, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to light the torch here. My soldering iron. Now when you solder, what you want to do is you want to heat up the metal first and then apply the solder to it. And this is going to be tricky. I may have to do it kind of both at the same time, because if I just sit there and hold this on there, this torch or the soldering iron onto this, where I'm going to solder this, it's going to really heat that plastic up. And so I think I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and tin them first before I attach the wire. So I'm going to get solder on both of these pieces that I need first, so I may have to kind of do it both at the same time because I don't want to be on here too long. So I'm going to start the torch. I'm going to do the hard one first. Doesn't sound like it's going. Here it goes. It makes a sound, kind of has a little jet engine sound to it when it ignites. Sometimes it won't ignite. And so I'm going to let this heat up for a little bit, and I can see it's hot inside. And let me check the temperature adjustment. Crank it up. I want to get it hot. And it's not very loud. I hope I got enough fuel in there. I think I did. And so, just let it heat up. Get good and hot. It's smoking hot already. And it's hard to see. It's kind of getting dark out here. So I'm just going to apply some wood smoking. And I just want to make sure the wires are going to be out of the way and in a position where they're not going to get damaged. And let that cool. Don't move, just stay still. And there it is. Okay, we're almost to the moment of truth. Is this thing going to work? It should. Now I'm just going to let it cool for a minute. Not going to move it. Make sure it's good and cool. It looks good. I got two nice little globs of solder where they need to be. And the wires are submerged into it. So I can go ahead and pull this paper towel out. And it looks like I didn't melt anything. Hopefully the face of the clock's going to look okay. Now, these wires are backwards to the way I need to have them, so I'm going to have to twist them around and set them in here. And hopefully I can do this without damaging them. That's going to sit in here like this. And these wires, I can just tuck them in somewhere. But right for now, I'm just going to leave them alone. And I'm going to put the battery in. Got little pieces of plastic from when I was using my Dremel tool, and it's not coming out. Damn it. Oh, damn it. Well, I ruined the clock. I was worried about that. I burned the face down there by the 6. The heat got to it. I should have left that foil in. I didn't think that would happen. Dang it. How did it get down there? That's weird. I wasn't even soldering down there. How in the hell did the heat get down there? That's really weird. I didn't have the soldering iron down there. It was just close enough to heat it up. I should have had foil down here. And so I ruined it. And yeah. Oh well. Let's see if it works anyway. It looks like I'm going to be buying a new clock. Or fixing the other one in here and moving it. Damn. I was hoping to have this working tonight. Yeah, you can't win them all. So what happened was, when I was soldering this one, the soldering iron was over this part here, and it heated it up. And if I'd held the soldering iron straight up and down, that wouldn't have happened. And so, yeah. And there's no fixing it. So, all right, well, let's put the battery in and watch. It's going to work. I know it's going to work. Let's see if it's working. Nope. Well, it ain't working anyway, so, and it's connected. Why in the hell isn't it working? Yeah, it's connected good. The wires are connected. The battery's in right. I had voltage there. I can check it again. Let me double check. I know I got the polarity right. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a voltage test on here again. Check the polarity this way first and see if I got connection here. Yeah, it's 1.6 volts. And I know I have the polarity right. I'm going to bump it around a little bit. It might just be froze up because it's been sitting for so long. Yeah. Okay, well, looks like the clock was dead anyway. This thing had been sitting for probably 10 years or more, and I haven't used it. So, at any rate, so much for this project. A failure, which is kind of rare. I don't have too many. Well, another job not well done. So, total failure. And that's okay. It's good for my ego. Doesn't hurt to have a failure every once in a while. It's pretty rare that I do. I usually succeed, but this time I didn't. And I damaged the clock face. I got it too hot and burnt down there where the 6 is. 6 o'clock, the bottom. And but it didn't work anyway. So this clock is dead. I don't know why it's not running. It should run. I do have connection to it. If you found this video helpful, which I doubt you did, or entertaining, maybe entertaining, but probably not very helpful, please like and subscribe. Can't win them all.